Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you all for joining us again. We're at TalkVisual305. We're downtown Homestead. We're coming to you live from our studio. It's good to be back. It's good to be a part of this. And I wanted to reach out and say good morning to you all out there. Mr. Julio, who we got?
Hey, good morning to everybody. We got a special guest with us today. The city of Cutler Bay has got one of its finest here with us today. He's going to give us some insight on the things that he's doing. He's a personal great friend of mine, Richard Ramirez. He's got history of not only being a great MC, he is currently the councilman of Cutler Bay. He's also a retired firefighter. He's also been in the Coast Guard. This guy's got a tremendous story, and we are excited to have him here today. Help me give him a warm welcome, Richard Ramirez.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to serve the town of Cutler Bay and represent pretty much Miami-Dade County and everything that's going on here. Be happy to share some stories because I know I shared a couple with you guys the other day, and it was just fun to do that. Something I enjoy doing. But also want to touch on a couple things that's going on in Cutler Bay, which actually is going to help the southern part of Dade County, and I think that's pretty cool. So,
awesome.
Why don't we start with that a little bit, and then we'll get into some stories, because the stories are the fun part, so you guys got to stick around. Stick around for the stories. So, just a little highlight, Cutler Bay is approximately about 10 miles. It's got 45,000 residents. We incorporated in 2005. So we just celebrated our 20-year anniversary with a big party out at Cutler Ridge Park. And
everybody in golf carts.
That's it.
It was packed. It was
great.
Cart, right? Oh, and it's a big golf cart community. We love the golf carts. That's one of the small town feels that gets lost as you grow. And the thing with communities is that growth is inevitable. It's going to happen.
Right.
Responsible growth is what needs to happen. And a lot of times that gets lost in the shuffle. I think one of the things that I'm very proud of in Cutler Bay is that the developers actually come to us.
Right.
And they say, what is it that you want us to do that's within the scope of your community?
What is the vision, right?
What is the vision?
Right.
How do we stay in that so we're not, we don't stand out in the wrong direction?
Right. So before you go into the meat and the potatoes, we need to give you your flowers. One of the intro that we usually come up with was, thank you for coming on board with us. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day. It's not often that men typically want to even have flowers, but we want to give you digital flowers and say, we appreciate you, we appreciate the things you're doing and continue to do in the future. So TalkVisual305, Julio and myself, just wanted to say thank you for coming on.
That's exactly right. You hit it on the nose, D. And what you're doing in Cutler Bay, you guys are spearheading regional impact projects that not only affect Cutler Bay, but everybody surrounding Cutler Bay, and it's a win-win for all of us. So we here in the city of Homestead commend what Cutler Bay is doing, because you guys are leading the charge.
Right.
And we can't wait to see what comes out of all that.
We are trying to be the model of what all towns and municipalities can actually come up with and how they do it and how they use it. I'll tell you what we do which is really good, is when we do our budget, we actually have 5 different meetings. We have 3 workshops and 2 state mandated budget hearings.
Right.
We give this booklet out to the
everybody.
people that show up. It is also online. Everything is in here, from what we are doing, what the projects are, what the salaries are of our 30-plus employees.
So it's
That's
very
all
transparent.
We have. Very transparent. And that's something I'm very proud of is, there's no hidden secrets in Cutler Bay. Cutler Bay is there for a reason. The reason that we're progressing is because we don't hold back and hide things. Right. So not just in local politics, but when we go up to Tallahassee, we give them a booklet. This is impressive. This tells us everything that's going on. And when we ask for money, when we ask for money from the state, when we ask for money from the local, we also put skin in the game.
That's right.
Very few places do that. And that's why we're so successful in getting our grants.
Right. And so one of the things that when we come on, obviously, first, how are you doing?
Well, I'm old and crotchety.
Excuse me for 1 second, guys. What's going on with the line? Do you want to?
I need to touch it.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, we're gonna touch that.
We'll do that.
Let me touch that live, Julio. So we're gonna. I need to put it on your wife. Good. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, man.
This happens. This happens.
Pause it and start it up again.
We'll make it up. We'll make it up. Did we lose the whole thing?
No. We're still going here.
All right. We'll get there.
I need to get on your Wi-Fi on this one.
The password is going to be on the back of the modem. I don't.
You're killing me, Smalls. Let me see if I can get through without it.
Demetrius just installed fiber here,
Oh, really?
like yesterday,
Oh.
Friday.
Really?
So we got a new Wi-Fi system because Comcast fiber was never available here, and he was advocating. Why don't any of the downtown businesses have Wi-Fi? I mean, have fiber.
Yeah.
And he made it happen.
Well, sometimes. Well, yeah, your company probably put it in and did all the work.
Yeah.
Right. Just one more second. Let's make sure here.
Get all of us.
We get closer. I just.
That's it. There you go.
Slap. That's all we got
Let's
to
tighten
do.
up.
We'll make it work.
All right, as long as it stays easy. All right, guys. Do we start over? Or
No,
we
no,
continue
no,
going?
no,
So
we're
keep
continue
going.
going. Continue.
You know, thank you guys for for the short interruption there. You know, we can't control those. So we are live, so we wanted to say, hey, certain things will happen. We just keep it moving.
So he was just talking about the transparency and how proud he is about how they deliver information so that everybody can ask questions and there is no hidden agendas anywhere with the town of Cutler Bay. Even
Right.
the salaries of all 32, 36 employees.
37, I believe we have 37, 39.
Interesting to understand that a city of your size can operate with such a little staff, such a little
Right.
team of that little army does so many things.
That's it. Very heavy hitting.
How is it that you guys are able to navigate through such a small group of people, yet doing so many big things in that city?
You know, in the fire department, we have a thing called scope. The scope of oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind now. That allows you to tell you how many people, you can actually manage under there, and it just kind of spreads out like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we really have great people working for us. I mean, it starts with the town manager.
Right.
I mean,
Cutler Bay, rock us
the
out.
mayor, the vice
Rock
mayor,
us out.
my
it.
fellow council members. But this guy is the one that drives that boat. He steers the boat, and when you have somebody that's that good, that really has a command of the actual employee staff, all the managers and
Right.
everybody, you really. There's nothing else to sit back and do. My job is easy.
Right.
My job is easy. Honest to God.
Right.
Let me tell you how wonderful it is. We have a Public Works guy that just won the Public Works Director Award for the year. Public Works Director for the year, Alfredo Quintero Jr.
Wow.
I mean, for the entire state.
Wow.
For the
it
entire
up, man.
state.
For Ralph Quintero, man.
Great
That's it.
job, great job. We've also won Project of the Year for our Caribbean and 103rd Avenue Circle. Project of the Year.
Yeah, man.
So, we do things right, and we try and complete projects ahead of schedule, saving money.
Right.
We're doing that with Frangel Road, and these are just small things, but when the scope of running a town,
Yeah,
huge. These are
right.
huge
Big
things.
accomplishments.
Think of Dade County finishing US 1 from start to finish. And that's in the same scope. And don't forget, the new mall is $1.5 billion in
That's a B,
economic
with a
envy
B.
with a B. As the mayor goes, with a B. All right, this is going to be the economic hub of the southern part of the county.
Yeah.
So we always have to keep that in mind. Now let's get back to good stuff. So my dad was in the Army.
Okay.
My mother was in the Army. She got out of the Army to raise up my brother and myself, and then went back into the Air Force Reserves and retired.
Thank you for your service.
And so he was in the Army, she was in the Army. I went in the military, I was in the Coast Guard. But my mom is more popular in Cutler Bay than I am. All right? So I'm very upset about that. Mom, if
He's
you
very
get a
upset about
chance to
that.
see this, we got to turn that around.
That's it.
But she's just nonstop, and it's great to have somebody who supports you like she
awesome.
does.
Right.
And family's everything, especially you guys know.
Yes.
I mean, family really is what makes the ball roll.
That's it.
But
But mom, huh?
I've been very fortunate in my life. Started with the military. I got injured in the military, so I got out. I signed up for 3 years. Took me 3 more years to get out,
Right.
which is okay. And then I got involved in medicine because of my rehabilitation for my knee. Luckily, I worked at James Archer Smith Hospital in Homestead.
right
I mean,
here.
It was right here in this town. We moved to Homestead when my dad retired from the military. And I had in physical therapy, I did an interview with the physical therapist there, and I did everything wrong. I'm telling you, everything I did wrong. And I worked at, while I was going through rehab in the military, I was working at Scott Air Force Base.
Okay.
So since I was going through rehab twice a day, they let me work in physical therapy, do the crutch fittings and all this other stuff, teaching people how to walk and everything. Well, a couple years later, I go for this interview, and I did everything wrong. God bless him. God bless him for looking at me and saying, you know what, this guy's got heart.
That's it.
And started working in physical therapy, took over the orthopedics department, which I absolutely loved. You know, there's nothing like putting somebody's shoulder back or, drilling pins in people's heads and stuff like that. You know, these are fun things. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I just took to orthopedics. I just loved it. Casting, splinting, bracing, the whole thing. And then one day, after I got out of medicine, I burned out, got out of medicine, started running the gym, Utmost Fitness in Campbell Square back in the day.
Wow.
And even went and sold cars at the Ford dealership.
Right, next door.
You know, and one day, one of my orthopedic buddies called me and he says, look, you have to go work for this doctor in Kendall on Monday. I go, excuse, you know I'm out of medicine. I'm out of medicine. He goes, no, you got to go back. You got to go back. I already told him you're coming.
Oh.
So that got me back into medicine.
That's it.
All right.
You were told.
Working back at Baptist and doctors. I mean, I worked at almost every hospital in Dade County. And then one day my ex-wife came to me. She goes, hey, I'm going to go apply for the fire department. You want to go? And I went, who the heck wants to run in a burning building? And she says to me this is the most wonderful thing she ever said. She goes, you have nothing else going on today, so why don't you come with me?
Wow.
All right. Went through the whole process. And I knew nothing about fire. Went through the whole process, ended up #1 on the list.
What?
#1 on the list.
Congrats.
So, went into first class, and I'm going to tell you something. I have been in public service, community service, dealing with people, trying to get them better, trying to get them almost my entire adult life.
Right.
The best career choice I ever made was going to the fire department.
Wow.
And it happened by chance.
It happened by chance, totally by chance.
Yeah.
And 20 plus years in the fire department, and I can tell you something, I probably had 3 bad days or 3 days that I went home and I was like, man, what's going on?
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something, it was the best career choice I ever made.
So Rick, the 2 major careers that give the person discipline in their lives, so did you get into the Coast Guard early, like in your early 20s?
I think before that, I graduated high school and kind of meandering around a little bit. But believe it or not, I had a girlfriend who says, I'm going to go sign up for the Coast Guard, for the military.
So the girlfriends are always leading you.
Come along, let's do this.
And I sat back for a second. I said, you know what? I said, I'm not so sure that, at that point, women really were going to do well in the military. We're going to have the opportunities that everybody else had.
Yeah. Right.
So I told her, I said, look, at some point we're going to get married, blah, blah, blah. Let me go in. I'll go in. I'll check it out. If you want to go, you can still go, but let me be the cornerstone for this. So I went in. We didn't stay together. I don't even know which one she did actually. But and you're right. When it comes to discipline, when it comes to and I'll tell you something. Let me give you this. And I lived this to this day. There was a Navy officer that I saw on a video that said, every morning I make my bed, and that fulfills the first task of the day.
Okay.
And sets the standard for what goes forward.
Well said.
And I don't know why that stuck with me, but to this day, that's the same thing. Right. I make my bed every morning.
And that's when it begins.
And it begins the day. And it makes you feel good. You accomplished something already, just getting up.
So you're borderline OCD in a way.
Borderline, No, it just something, it got ingrained in me. Yeah. It was so powerful. To me, that was just very powerful. Right. It just started your day.
That's it.
And I love doing that.
And you stayed through to it, right? I mean,
this day, I still do that. I miss certain things. I miss being on the fire department. I love the fire department. As a matter of fact, I got a call the other day from one of the guys I worked with, and he said, can you come to the station and talk to the guys and stuff?
Yeah.
He goes, I have something for you. I was like, oh, pretty cool. Yeah, I'll do that. And I love going and talking to the recruits and explain things to them that's going to better their life and enrich them later on.
Right.
But I get there, and
which station?
this was Station 23 in Pinecrest,
Pinecrest,
which I worked
okay.
for several years.
Okay.
Engine 23.
Ah.
But he gave me a
Challenge coin.
It's a challenge coin, but it's his daughter works for the Mint.
Ah.
And they print military coins. Look at you, buddy. So this is the Coast Guard one.
Yes.
A little copper one. And I love.
Can
and
I
I
check
tell
it
you
out?
what, yes, absolutely. I
love
love
that
thing.
one.
I love that thing. It's simple, but it's so. To me, that's powerful as well because
Cool
that
stuff, man.
actually.
You know the story behind those?
Yeah, you can tell the story about
no,
challenge coins.
no.
Go ahead.
No. I wanted to know if he knew.
No, I don't know the story behind them, but they look really cool.
So anyway, if you give out challenge coins and stuff, and you go to a gathering or whatever, you're supposed to present your challenge coin, and if people don't have them, then they have to buy rounds for everybody in the place.
okay.
That's right.
So few people leave without a challenge
That's
coin
cool.
just for that reason, because depending on where you at, it could be a long night. I don't drink, so it doesn't even apply to
Right,
me.
right.
So
Water.
I'm good. I'm
Shots
good.
of water.
But that's cool.
We talked a little bit about how you got into medicine and orthopedics, but how did you get injured? How did that happen?
Okay, so
And then how did you reconstruct your knee?
Well, I was early on in my military career. They have Coast Guard Day, and right before this, probably 6 months, I got into working out, squats, doing all this stuff, and I really started to, wanted to change my body.
Right.
And at the Coast Guard picnic, we were playing volleyball.
Yeah.
And me and this guy went up to spike the ball, and we hit each other, and I came down, and my knee just went out to the side.
Okay, got it.
And it was from that day it was done.
Downhill.
Okay, so they normally do an arthroscopy, okay, to try and see what's going on in there, try and fix it, everything else like that. But that machine was broken, so they had to open up my knee.
Wow.
So they opened my knee, they did the surgery, sent me back. They put me on in rehab, doing all that stuff. And then I get back early, and I get back on the Coast Guard cutters and re-injured it again. With the movements and everything else, like the waves and everything. It just re-injured it. Never really healed. So after 3 surgeries, finally got it back. And honest to God, I even afterwards, I was playing softball, I was playing sports, a little racquetball, stuff like that, for years and years and years. And one of the guys on my team was an orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Harlan Selesnik, out of Doctors Hospital, working with the University of Miami. Guy's great guy, love him to death. And he says to me one day, he was my doctor. He said, Rick, I have no idea how you're playing. I knew he was going to do my surgeries when the time came. And thank God he's still there. The guy's amazing, love him to death, and I've done well with it since.
Okay.
So that's how you got into the orthopedic world.
Right.
That's how I got into the orthopedic world. But
you weren't supposed to be playing any of those type of sports after the surgery.
No, this was
because of the type of injury it was.
Yeah, it was a devastating injury. It really was. Kind of like Donahue's triad, where several of the ligaments were destroyed.
But in our minds, when we're athletes, and you've got to stay active, and that's how we think we're healing ourselves.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you about activity. In 2020, I got COVID.
Okay.
And I ended up at the hospital, almost died.
Oh man.
Now, I never, in my mind, thought that I was close to dying. Right. It wasn't just something that was coming to my mind, but the numbers and everything else that were being presented were not good. And every Monday, they got their allotment. There's a very small allotment of remdesivir. Right. And at that particular time, they put me on steroids and oxygen. Yeah. And they had a meeting every Monday with the doctors, and they said, okay, who's on this side of the needle, they're going to get it. Who's over on this side of the needle doesn't get it. Wow. Okay, the chances of them surviving and everything are not good. So I'm on this side of the needle.
Oh, man. Whoa.
And one of the doctors in the meeting said, can you imagine what would happen if word got out that we didn't take a chance on a firefighter?
Wow.
So my occupation saved my life.
That's amazing.
It created the issue, but it saved my life.
Right.
And even when I got out of the hospital, I did not like looking in the mirror. I was so emaciated, just withdrawn, and I didn't want people seeing me. I didn't want anybody seeing me. Wow. But I knew that I had to keep walking. I had to walk. I had to go further. I had to keep pushing myself, and it was hard. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And I've rebuilt this knee 4 times now. Right. Okay, this was difficult. Just getting the motivation to get up and go.
Right. Where does the fighting you come from?
I don't know. I think, you know what I think it is? I think it's the fact that I've helped so many people get better, and I know that you can get better.
Right.
And maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. And I can tell you that when I worked at James Arthur Smith Hospital, very seldom in this town could I pay for food.
Everybody's like, here, nothing.
Everybody knew me. Everybody was, people would just come up to me and, true story. So I had a 5-year-old girl that had a transient synovitis in her hip. Yeah. So I had to put her in traction, change the traction, every other day and everything like that. She's 5 years old. So my daughter and I go to the youth fair, and this is probably 5-6 years later. And I hear this girl call my name, and she's already in flight to jump on me. And I'm like, whoa. So, and I remember her name was Jenna. Yeah. And Jenna was special, special. And I'll give you another clue about life. And I love sharing this. And I tell all the new guys, and I tell all the people in medicine, and I really hope that everybody in medicine takes this to heart. In your career, you're going to treat thousands, maybe tens of thousands, some even more than that.
Right.
Okay? Out of all of those people you treat, you're going to remember 5. They're never going to leave your mind. You will always think about them.
Right.
But every single one of those people will remember you.
That is true.
And you had the ability to decide how you want to be remembered by people. And I live by that.
That's right. Leave the right crumbs.
I live by that.
Yeah.
Well said.
Because could you imagine being in the hospital and you're on this side of the needle, wondering if you're going to get the treatment, and the doctor still is being forthcoming and saying, "Hey, man,
Did you ever see the doctor again?
Not after leaving the hospital. I mean, listen, it took me. This was in 2020, and it's taken me. I still, COVID's left me a lot of presents.
Right.
Okay, what I'm not happy about. Right. But I've also accepted the fact that a lot of those are never going to get better.
Right.
I try and make things better no matter what. Even so, I know that in my heart it may not get better.
Right.
But if I give up, who else is going to take care? Fix that for me? Nobody. You're the only one that can control your destiny when it comes to that.
I'm under the notion that people can be depressed and they can be withdrawn, but if you surround yourself with people that are going to uplift you, it'll shorten the amount of time that you are in that dark space, in that dark area. And all of a sudden you're up and running, and you're no longer afraid or embarrassed or shameful about being out there.
But sadly there are people that can't get by that.
Yeah.
And that's what's hard. And I've been around that. I've been around that too. And you want to help everybody. And I tell the guys too, I say, listen, we're going to help somebody. We're not going to fix everybody.
Right.
We're not going to be able to fix everybody, except the fact that you can. And I've had the call where 3 kids got killed in a car accident.
Wow.
And I can see depression a mile away. I didn't see it in myself.
Right.
All right. For a year, I would go home, sit in that room for 2 days, go back to work, go home, sit in the room for 2 days. And the chief called me in the office one day, and he goes, "Rick, is everything okay?" And I started bawling.
Right.
And as I'm crying, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell am I crying about?
Yeah.
I couldn't stop it.
You needed a release.
Right.
Couldn't stop it. And he says, "Listen, I'm going to send you home." And I went, No. I said, "You can't send me home. If you send me home, I can't help anybody."
This is in the fire station?
This is in the fire station.
Wow.
And what we don't realize is that we're so concerned about helping everybody else, we don't think about ourselves.
Well said.
And that may need to change in the future, where we really have to start thinking about ourselves, so that we can be available to help people.
So a personal day.
Very personal. Very personal. But I went through a year of depression.
Yeah.
Being a firefighter is one of the most sought after jobs, especially in Miami-Dade County.
Yeah.
True.
And it seemed like you kind of had a pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but it was right place at the right time. And got in.
All right, people around him. Let's do this.
So.
But there's a lot of people that have to go to other cities, other counties, far away, and wait for a position to open up in Miami-Dade.
And
is it still that?
That's true. Yeah, it is that way. I mean, you're looking at 10,000 people applying for 400 jobs at most. I tell people, listen, apply at every department. Right. You can always try and transition to somebody else, or you may find your niche.
Right. And you have to be a med first, right? Depends.
Now? Some people will train. Like I was hired without medics in EMT. Got the training while I was in there. So they post that and will tell you, we're looking for this. Now, what Miami-Dade does a lot of times is they say, okay, we need more medics, so they'll grab a group of medics off that list, and they may put you ahead of other people. So whatever the need is what they go for.
Right.
There's a friend of mine named Christian Garcia. He's in the fire department, and he does this program that helps municipalities, the staff of all these cities. They get trained in
First
CPR,
aid and CPR and everything. Yeah.
They do all of those things, and it's a great way for the staff to just get that training, because those are one of those things that if you don't have some training, you wouldn't know what to do in an emergency.
Right.
And I think having that is great for the cities. Have you guys done it in Cutler Bay?
Yeah, we've planned it for Cutler Bay for some of the employees and stuff. I have talked to Chris, and we're in contact. So hopefully we can get that established.
Cool.
CPR is vital.
Right.
And if everybody gets an opportunity to get a CPR class, jump in there. Please jump in there, because you don't know if it's going to be your friend, your family, or somebody. And be honest with you, I have before fire. I actually saved a guy from drowning at the Homestead Air Force Base pool.
Oh, wow.
I've done the Heimlich and helped somebody, remove the what was called
obstruction.
the blockage.
Yeah.
So you can say, well, that was just a natural transition into fire, but no, it had nothing. It really had. I didn't have a clue about fire when I got into fire, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm so proud. I'm so proud to have served the residents of Miami-Dade County, that they allowed us to do that. It was an honor.
Right.
It really was an honor.
So if you could have done anything different, because you seem like you have a storybook ongoing, right? I wouldn't say I would say ending, ongoing. If you could have done anything different, what would you have done different?
I would have tried to get on the fire department when I was in my 20s. I was almost 40 years old.
You would have not gone on the Coast Guard?
No, the Coast Guard was military service. I think was going to be in my blood no matter what.
Yes.
Had something come up different, then maybe it would have been like that. But to get the grounding, to get the discipline, to get the desire to always improve yourself.
Right.
The military gave me that in spades. I mean, I don't know of any other careers that you could choose.
Right.
And the fire department is paramilitary, so that continued on there.
Right.
And I tell you what, I love the fire department so much. If you said, listen, we're going to let you run Disney, all right, at the CEO's salary, or stay on the fire department, it's a no-brainer, man. I'm helping people. Wow. I'm staying there.
Say less.
You can have the multi-millions. Give me.
Right.
You know what it is? It's not even about money. It's about seeing people. And
That's
what's
smart.
fortunate about, especially the southern end of the county, and even the very north end of the county, is that a lot of guys end up working around where they live. Cutler Bay is notorious for that. So I think the care, even though we give great care, the care may be that little oomph extra,
Right.
just because you're going to see the people at the movie theater, at Publix, out to
In the
dinner.
neighborhood.
So, and that's very unique to Cutler Bay, too, is that you see a high number of the people that work at those fire stations here in Cutler Bay are residents of Cutler Bay. Cool. And I love that.
And Rick, after your career at the fire department, somebody says, hey man, you ever thought about running for city council? You're like, well, I don't know, I never really thought about it. But understanding what you've already done.
What was her name that said that?
No, actually it's funny because I was on the executive board for 17 of my 20 years for the fire department. So I was on the executive board, and it was a non-paid position.
Yeah.
I got a stipend for the phone. So, I didn't think anything about it when I went to apply for town council with Cutler Bay. I didn't even know there was a stipend. I had no idea.
Right.
So when the other guy that ran against me bowed out, they would bring me in every week and bring me up to speed on all the projects that are going on in the county. So you're not sitting there,
Like
with
clueless.
the deer in the headlight. And it was great. I mean, that was great. And when he slides a paper across the table and he said, "These are your benefits," I go, "There's benefits?"
I didn't know. I didn't know this
I
came
had
benefits.
no idea, because it was never about money.
Right.
Even
It
if
was
you
never
had
about
to,
money.
you
It was
still-
about
Service
serving,
above self.
service, continued service, basically, is all it is. And again, I'm running again this November, and I love what I do.
Right.
If I didn't love what I do, I'd walk away. I would walk away and give it to somebody who does. but I absolutely love representing Cutler Bay.
You're doing a great job at it too.
As they say, we see the
support.
state of Cutler Bay and it looks strong.
It's amazing. You know, we go to Tallahassee with the books.
Yeah.
We go to Tallahassee. We go to Washington. I was with the firefighter union. Every place we went to, come on in, guys. We love you.
Yeah.
We love firefighters. We do the same thing. We go to Tallahassee. Come on in, Cutler Bay. We love you guys. Come on in. So I've been very fortunate to be, you know, sitting in the position where everybody wants to say hi to you. Everyone wants to hug you. Everyone wants a picture. You know, let's see what we can do for you guys
That's
down
good.
there.
That
And
means you guys are leaving the
amazing.
right crumbs there.
That's
right?
amazing. But you know, I did try and leave my little stamp on Homestead when I was here. I did that, so I don't want Homestead to say,
Be left out.
Oh, we're going to talk about Cutler Bay. No, I enjoyed living in Homestead. I loved Homestead. I didn't move north until after Hurricane Andrew.
Right.
And I'll tell you, there was 12 houses on my block here on the other side of Chrome and A Street, and only 4 houses had any walls.
Whoa, wow.
After the hurricane. Luckily, I think I had a bunch of trees around my property, which saved that. We had no windows. We had holes in the ceiling. We saved 20-some people, brought them in, you know, in the middle of the hurricane, during the hurricane. People were knocking on the door during the hurricane.
Right.
Well,
Then the eye comes around and people think it's over. And then
kids are out there throwing footballs stuff. I
Right,
said, guys, get in the house, because when this comes back, it's fast.
Right.
All right. It's not going to say, okay, we're going to go 5, 10.
Countdown.
It's like, boom.
Not happening.
You know? And we saved a lot of people. I had a shard of glass in one heel. I had a nail in the other. And still were pulling in people. And I ended up laying in the bathroom with both my heels in the sink, just bleeding. I was like, you know what? We save people.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a second thought. You know, just go out and get. And the only fence that stayed up between us and some people that were in a car that had to back out of their carport because the house was coming down. That was the only part of the fence that stayed up. So we made a chain and we started pulling people over the fence, kids and stuff.
Right.
So, you know, there's memories. There's memories of
some of the
Homestead,
horror
good memories.
stories.
You know,
I'm
it was,
sure, I'm
but you know
sure.
something? It brought Homestead together.
Right.
It really brought the people that live here. Now, we had a lot of transients and everything else like that.
Right.
Thank God they come in and do some work and get out. And, you know, there's good people and there's also bad. But the people of this town stuck together.
Right.
You know, people would bring in food and you would take what you needed and share it with your neighbors.
Right.
You know,
Well, I
and that
remember
just
National
shows.
Guard came. Remember National Guard came?
Yeah,
Well,
one phone.
that's usually what happens.
One phone working,
Yes.
and it was in the plaza right off A Street, and Chrome, and there was a line of people to make phone calls, and the National Guard stood there and let everybody have their 2 or 3 minutes.
See, that was Bell South back then.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I remember that now.
it.
That was great timing.
When
That
the
was great
story
timing.
is written, it will say he did it his way.
Yeah.
You know. In representing the town, there's one thing I'd like to do, if you guys don't mind.
By all means.
There's a group of people and stuff that are really instrumental in what happens to Cutler Bay, and I really don't want to forget anybody. So I'd like to start with this guy. He's short, but he's powerful, and I love him to death. Grant Miller with his community newspapers and
Grant,
stuff.
okay.
Cutler Bay is right in the middle.
We're a fan. We're a fan of Grant Miller.
Yes, we are.
I think I'm going to pay him to put this in every municipality. This particular page, you know. So love Grant Miller.
Good-looking bunch.
You know, on the federal level, Congresswoman Salazar, you know,
Right,
very
right.
good.
Yeah.
All our political friends
Right.
really go out of their way to help us here in Cutler Bay. State level, Senator Alexis Calatayud, amazing lady. Representative Blanco, fire captain,
Right,
you
right,
know,
right.
good friend of mine. Love him to death. The guy works.
Right.
He absolutely works. Our adopted senators, Ileana Garcia and Ana Maria Rodriguez. We just saw her the other day.
That's
Super nice lady.
Homestead.
One of my friends, and I'm going to call her a friend, and she's going to admit this, and she actually loves my mom. She always asks about my mom. My mom always asks about her, is our county mayor, Danielle Levine Cava. Love her. And she used to be our commissioner, too, for the
of
town.
course,
So
See, all road leads to
Down
true
south,
Homestead,
man.
right?
She's-
that's right.
All road leads to
So,
and through.
Keone McGee.
That's it,
Yeah,
another
I
one.
worked with Keone
My
many
brother,
times,
McGee.
you know, in North and here, and I just love the guy. We just did Costco.
Yeah.
Just did the ribbon cutting for Costco. Who was
He's
there?
another one that
Who was
worked.
there? That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
All right, love Keone. And also Danielle Cohen-Higgins.
Yeah.
The lady is just absolutely wonderful, and she really
doing a
loves
great
Cutler Bay, and she's doing an amazing job. Luisa Santos,
Right.
school board member,
Yes.
who actually is a Cutler Bay resident.
We got to get her on here.
Yes,
You got to get her
She's
on.
up
And that
next.
lady is a powerhouse.
We're waiting.
And she's getting ready to have a baby. So congratulations,
Congratulations.
Louisa. I love you.
Louisa
You know
Sanchez.
I love you. And you need anything with that baby, I'll even babysit.
That's it.
But only for an
putting it
hour.
out there.
But only for an hour. After that,
Only an
I don't know what I'm doing
His
after
knees
that.
might not hold up.
You can only bounce that thing for so long, you know. I love that. There's a guy that was in my fire class, all right, and I love him. Actually, number 2, number 1 in the fire department, number 2, the fire chief, Rahid Jadala, and Jason Richards. Both of those guys were in my academy, my fire academy. So
it.
congratulations, both of those guys, for going right, you know,
Straight to the
doing
top.
what they do in the field, and then going to the top and running this department. And I love them. We saw Lena Garcia the other day,
That
our
is
election
true.
supervisor.
Yeah.
Love
there
her,
too.
super nice lady. Love her. Our tax collector, Dario Fernandez,
Right.
he's everywhere.
He's right.
I swear, I
He
see
gets
that
down
guy
here more.
Yeah.
I was like, does he have an office here?
Maybe he should, right?
Yeah,
I love him.
We know a guy can rent his space.
Former city Miami mayor and our property appraiser, Tomas Regalado.
Yeah,
the guy's, oh my God. I had a word for him earlier, and it's just escaped me now. But he is. If you're looking for information, this is the guy to go to.
Yeah.
He's your go-to.
He's a
He
resource,
is solid. He's a resource. But the guy is gold.
And he's so
absolutely
approachable.
gold. And
He's
he is.
approachable.
Yeah.
And he loves talking to people. And it's just amazing that he is able to do that. And of course, our clerk of courts and comptroller, Juan Fernandez Bardaquin, Omar, when he was the president of the firefighters union, would drive him around when he was running
Right.
for office. Actually, after he got into office, to see what we do.
Yeah.
And he was on one of my calls. I'm not going to tell you what it was because he probably has nightmares about it still today. But it's just he's good people, and I can't forget our congratulations to our sheriff Rosie Corderos.
Yeah.
She's class act all the
she's
way,
doing
and we
great,
certainly
too.
appreciate her. So thank you guys for letting me, kind of give my shout out.
I want to give a shout out to Mayor Tim Mearbot. What a job this gentleman has been doing
Right.
over the years.
Of course.
He leads by example, quietly,
Right.
and always gives the merit to the council.
He is
Such a class act.
He is very involved in the Biscayne Bay projects, all the water projects,
Right.
trying to protect our environment. As a matter of fact, we actually have purchased 3 sections of land on Old Cutler, one of the largest landowners on Old Cutler, and we've stopped over 600 units, apartments from being built just by buying those and keeping them green.
Good.
The Legacy Park's 16 acres, only 4 of it's going to have concrete. The other 12 is going to stay green. We have Veterans Park now.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
3.5 acres. We bought it in 87th Avenue on the circle.
Right.
On the
Right
circle.
there, right there.
So that's gonna stay green. We may put a monument there, and maybe some sitting areas around the trees, and also our coastal preserve, which we're taking out all the invasive species,
Right.
replacing it with things that are native to Florida.
Right.
And shout out to the volunteers for that, and the schools. The schools bring a lot of kids out to help, and those kids come and they get dirty. And that's
That's why people love to live in Cutler Bay. They
Yeah.
got good schools. It's a great community-oriented community, and people. And Mayor Tim Mearbot is just a guy that you want to go have a beer with.
Yeah.
He is. He's about as straightforward, normal, nice as you can imagine. I mean, somebody walks up to him and stuff, he'll talk to him.
Right.
He'll talk to him. There's no like, hi, how you doing? Moving on.
Right.
He doesn't do that. But you mentioned schools. Just so you know, for the first time in our existence as a town, all our schools are A or B.
Whoa.
All of them. And special shout out to Cutler Ridge Middle and Southridge Senior High, who are both A schools.
That's
And that's a
amazing,
huge
man.
turnaround.
I'll tell you,
And
100%.
we're so proud of that. We're so proud of the principals and then the students.
Right.
Because you can't do it. The
buy-in.
students are the ones that actually get it to that point.
Yeah.
So,
But all of this happens through the policies that you
right.
guys create.
Right.
So that says a lot about what you're doing and what the vision for Cutler Bay, is. Because good schools, great communities, that's what drives property values up, and that's what makes people feel safe and want to live in that community. So it doesn't always have to be the Pinecrest or the Gables. It's Cutler Bay.
Right. Cutler Bay.
Yeah, and you know what? Homes are still affordable.
Right.
Homes are still affordable in Cutler Bay.
Yeah.
I know in Homestead the numbers are jumping up.
Well, yeah.
And in Cutler Bay, they're increasing a little bit. Listen, we've held our ad valorem tax number for the same for the 4 years, for the same number for the last 4 years.
Wow.
We haven't increased it at all, and that's hard to say. That puts us number 9, ninth lowest in the entire county.
Wow.
And you still got a balanced budget with all the services that you guys provide.
Still got a balanced budget because we're not putting stuff out. Actually, we were voted number 1 in government spending and efficiency by the state. By our state, voted number 1, and I have some numbers here too. I'm not going to go crazy about these numbers because if you look at them now, they're even better. I don't want to brag too much. I want to brag about Cutler Bay as much as I can, but I don't want to overdo it and stuff. But I'm going to tell you something. It's a very well-run town. Very well-run.
That's it.
And I respect that. I respect, when I go out to eat, sometimes people say, hey, let me ask you about this. Let me talk to you about this. Let me complain about this. Guys, I'm sorry, I apologize. Don't apologize.
Let me know.
My job is to hear what you got to say and see if I can make a phone call to try and make it better.
Right.
I don't make promises,
Right.
except for one. I will do everything in my power to keep this town running as well as it did when I came into
Very well
office.
said.
That's right.
Or better.
Leave it
Or
better than need it.
Very well said.
That's the only promise I make to anybody.
Yeah,
You know,
well said.
I will try things, but that's the only promise I make.
Do you think government moves slow?
I think the bigger you are, the slower you move.
Yeah.
Honestly, because you have so many different moving parts. And, I think we try and make government harder than it has to be. You need checks and balances, 100%. I will never deny that. But I think if when you make it so hard, let me give you an example. When you do permitting for Cutler Bay, we try and have it done within 5 days.
That's unheard
You're
of.
never going to see that anywhere
That's
else. The
unheard
county
of.
is a year or two, mostly a year or two. And I'm not
You
putting
said
down
5
the county.
days?
5 days. We try and have you an answer for you one way or the other
And it's
in
not AI.
5 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very small department.
Right.
But our people they're dedicated. They're dedicated. Now, let me give you another example here. This is we had a hard time with the swimming pool. Okay, we had to close the swimming pool. The swimming pool water bill went from $2,000 to $35,000 in 1 month.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay, so there's big
Was there a
issues with
leak?
the pool. Yes, big leaks. Next month it was over 40,000. All right, so the number is going to exponentially grow. So we decided to close the pool, and we looked at Legacy Park because our primary thing was getting the town hall built. Blah blah blah. We said, look, let's do this. We did an evaluation of what the money was to fix the original pool.
Right.
Anywhere, the starting number was $750,000 to do it right.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
750,000, probably up over $1 million, no doubt. But when it's done, there's only going to be a 3-month gap from the time that pool's ready to be used to the time that the brand new pool's going to be used. It doesn't make sense to spend that money. That's to me a waste, and I hate to do that. So we try and find other alternatives for people to go and swim.
Right.
And we've done a good job putting some things out there to get that done.
Yeah.
But what we've done now is we've changed the focus on Legacy Park to the pool in the community center, getting that started. We're going to still pull this up, but we're going to, instead of that being secondary, now that's our primary motivation, is to get that pool open, because we want people to have a pool.
Right.
We, it killed us, all of us sitting on that council,
Right.
that we don't have, we can't pay $100,000 to have a pool that's going to last.
Right.
It really killed us, and it's a shame. But you know what? You have to do what's in the best interest of the town and what's right. And financially, that was the right move.
Here in Homestead, there's been a lot of people talking about the lights not being synchronized with the new bus rapid transit system. Is that going on in Cutler Bay as well, where the lights are not synchronized? Because I don't really understand what the county is doing and when they're coming down south to synchronize those lights.
Department of Transportation, I will hold my comments. No. I hate to say it, but it is true. I don't believe it's where it's supposed to be. Now, listen, obviously it's going to take some time, and and I see it all the time. As you're waiting on the red light, you get ready to turn green, here comes, and then there's no bus.
No bus.
There's no bus. I'm like,
what happened?
we run in invisible buses. I want to ride that.
That's it.
But I think it's going to take some time to work out the kinks. I've been on the bus, and it's very nice.
Yeah.
And the stations are very nice. But I think it's still going to take some time. It's going to eventually get better. In my opinion, it's going to eventually get better. It's going to work the way it's supposed to. We just have to be patient. Right?
Well, I think the residents of Homestead, they've outlasted their patience. They're done, right? So what they want to see is elected officials, when we say, hey, it's the county that needs to, synchronize these lights, they want to see us banging on that door every day saying, hey, fix the lights.
Yeah.
Hey, fix the lights. I'm not leaving until you fix the lights.
You know as well as I do, those doors are getting banged on
Yes.
by a lot of people. And listen, God bless Homestead. Like I said, I was here when we didn't have 2 hours in traffic to go from Campbell Drive to 152nd Street. Okay, and even driving down here today, I'm just looking at this. I'm going, man. So the mayor's thought, our mayor Tim Mirabot, his thought is if we can get the higher paying jobs at that South Place City Center, which is going to replace Southland Mall.
Right.
If we get the higher paying jobs, we'll have some people not in their cars for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night.
Right.
And if we can do that, it'll help. It may not alleviate a ton,
pull
but
back.
if it'll help,
Right.
every little bit helps in this particular instance.
You're right.
Now we can't really put in a lot of different infrastructure changes that are going to change that.
Right.
We have so-called traffic experts.
Yeah.
And that's their job to try and figure out how to do it. But we need to really start relying more on public transportation.
Right.
If we can, especially in Homestead. I see the turnpike. I'm like, man, let me get up over here. If I got an Uber from there to where I got to go after that, God bless me. But I see the traffic, and I'm just like, and I'm in it too.
In the mornings, forget about it.
Oh my goodness, it's an atrocity. But you can widen it all you want. You're still going to have
That bottleneck.
you're still going to have bottlenecks everywhere because at some point it all comes into something.
Yeah.
Right. So US one's the same way. Now
Higher paying jobs. That's the
higher
solution.
paying jobs
Locally.
in the South End.
Yeah.
Like I said, in the South End, we've been kind of the redheaded stepchild for a long time. He especially Homestead, Florida City.
Yeah.
We met the new Florida City mayor the other night, and super nice lady, and she's going to fit into that row, and she's going to do very well. I'm very, very proud and happy with her.
Very good.
And I know you're going to have some plans.
Yeah.
In the
got some
future,
plans.
you got some plans.
We're gonna get Homestead.
You and I have talked, and when you ran, I supported you
Yes, thank
100% because I believe in you and I believe in your vision.
Thank you.
And I believe in you too.
Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
I know you have vision somewhere. This is vision.
This is vision.
This is vision.
It's good to have friends.
That's right.
It's
It's
good
good
to
to
have
have
done it right.
That's right.
We could always lean on you
That's
guys.
correct.
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
I'm always, I'll always be an ear to you.
Thank you.
I just think that you and I bonded right away from our first meeting.
From initial connection.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
I have a lot of respect for you and your other council members. Actually, one has my last name.
That's right.
So
figure, right?
maybe she could be a sister. Maybe we could be married. Who knows?
That's right.
But yeah, man, I think that we politics needs a standard. We have to set a standard about honesty and transparency and everything else like that. And too many people are invested in their kingdoms.
Right.
And I don't have a kingdom.
Cutler Bay is your kingdom.
I'm there just to help out. It's not my kingdom.
Small
You
steps.
look at, and I've said this many times. There's a problem in Washington. Okay, the problem in Washington is the people that are elected there are supposed to be working for the people, not the party.
Right.
All right, we're not going to get away from that in our lifetime, which is sad. But if we could ever end up changing that and evolve it into working for the people again, you won't have all this fighting and all this money we're spending on stupid stuff when we should be taking care of our veterans and helping our homeless get into a place. Those are things that are important. Helping our children grow up to be responsible adults. Show them the way. These are things that are going to make us great. You look at other countries. I'm not going to mention them, but they've done that already.
Yeah.
They've done it already. So we need to make a change, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Make some adjustments.
If I get reelected, and what happens after that? Because I can do one half of a term somewhere, which I'm not going to put that expense on the town. I won't do that.
Right.
But if I go up or I do nothing, I'm still always going to be available to help people.
Well said.
Well, you've got our support.
If you would leave one piece of crumb for that next generational person that's listening or looking up to, what would that be? What does that look like?
Honor your mother and father. Honor your mother and father.
So that thy days may be longer.
They have lived, and they're trying to teach you right from wrong. okay? In most cases, not every case, in most cases. But respect elders, honor your mother and father, and always think before you do. Try and do the right thing.
That's right.
Think before you make that move, because if you make the move and it's the wrong one, consequences can be drastic, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It really isn't. You know, especially when you do the right thing and you can be respected by everybody that you meet.
Well said.
Rick, you've given us a lot of gems today, man. We want to thank you.
I love you guys. I love you. We got more stories. I'll be back next Wednesday. And,
same time, same place.
Same time, same place. I'm more than welcome to come back and share some stories with you guys.
Well, we love having you, sir, and we wanted to say thank you.
And the next time, I want to see you guys' stories. I think we share. I think all three of us should share. All right,
we got some stories.
That's
all right,
let's do it. Let's do it.
It goes deep, and truly, it's been an honor to have you here. We look forward to your journey and continue to listen, watch, and learn from what you got going on. I think it's for them, they have a gem.
Wow, thank you. I appreciate
So for all of those persons out there that's listening, considering, thinking, you have a gem amongst you. Take advantage of the opportunity, you know, while he's still wanting to do it. You know what I mean? Service above self, right?
And for those that want to keep up with Councilmember Richard Ramirez, go to on Instagram.
Oh, do I even have an Instagram? Dr. Rick 1999. I hardly post anything there. Mostly I hardly post anything anywhere.
Right.
Or you can just Google. You can just Google
Town of Cutler Bay. There's tons of videos on there. I'm in a lot of those videos. You see me kind of wobbling. That's just me.
That's it.
But I'm in the videos and stuff. Look at the one that's got the most views out of all of the entire ones that we've done, and that's the Dave's Hot Chicken one. That's the one I did. So check me out there, and be happy to talk to you guys. If you see me, come say hi. Come say hi. I'm human. I'm normal. You know, that's what I'm there for.
Cool.
Thank you very much, Rick.
It's a pleasure, mate.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on.